Praise is due to the Most High, family. Let's talk some more football. And again, family, this is a discussion. Sports is not a perfect science. It's more of an art. So put in the comments what you saw, what you disagree with me about. I'm just giving you my perspective, what I seen. And again, unfortunately, because of my busy schedule, I wasn't able to catch the full game. So I dove into the highlights, I dove into the stats to give you my perspective. But so the Chargers beat the Chiefs, and Pat Mahomes needs some help out there. You asking Pat Mahomes, and Pat Mahomes is very talented. We all know how good Pat Mahomes is. Like nobody's questioning that. But you can't win a game with Pat Mahomes versus 11 defenders. Right? This is just what I see. First of all, Pat Mahomes is your leading rusher. That's a problem. Pat Mahomes can scramble very well, but he is not a running quarterback. That's a problem if Pat Mahomes is your leading rusher. 39 pass attempts. And they was playing from behind the whole game. So I get that discourages you to run the ball, but 39 pass attempts is too many in my opinion, especially when what I seen in the passing game, I didn't see a lot of these receivers winning on their routes. I mean, a couple times, and that Pat Mahomes had a couple overthrows, but Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. So I feel like more it was like these receivers wasn't on their routes like they should have been. That's just my perspective, because I didn't see a lot of these receivers winning on their routes. Really what I saw was Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes working Pat Mahomes magic and Andy Reid with his play calling and really scheming these guys open. I didn't see a lot of these receivers just winning on their routes and winning on their matchups, right? They did have a couple drop ball or two. And Pat Mahomes did overthrow a few of them. I mean, particularly the deep ball. But that I feel like the receiving core needs some cleaning up to do. Travis Kelce. I mean, he had a touchdown and he was wide open, but 2 catches is not enough, because that's why Pat Mahomes is not as efficient as we're accustomed to seeing him be, and as potent as I see him. He works some magic, but he wasn't super efficient, not particularly potent. They was just doing the best that they could, honestly. Now on the other side of the ball, the defense they're like a bend but don't break defense. I mean, I guess because they had a couple good plays. They had a couple good plays here and there. So there was something that you can work with. But the vast majority of what I seen was a bad defense. That was the vast majority of what I seen. And so I don't know. I was expecting the Chiefs to win. I mean, when Pat Mahomes is your quarterback, you're kind of always expecting the Chiefs to win. Even with a bad team in a down year, I mean, they had a crazy record. They made the Super Bowl. But I don't know. I mean, in division games are totally different from the rest of the games. I mean, you got 6 division games out of a 17 game schedule. So, you're like guaranteed 6 tough games in the division normally, unless you got somebody that you beat up on in the division. But just like we seen with Cowboys Eagles, most division games are pretty tough. And so this was that. But if this is any indication of what the rest of the Chiefs season is gonna look like, it's gonna be tough, man. Pat Pat Mahomes was out there trying to be Superman, but apparently the Chargers were just too good. At least in this outing, they maintained the lead the whole game. So this forced Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to be operating and running offense from behind. Now they did execute that field goal that they ran with no time on the clock, basically. I mean, that was good execution. But then we missed an extra point. Right? Man, there's really not a lot to say, because it was like the same, at least in the Eagles and Cowboys, it was like two different halves, right? Like very, very two distinctive halves. But this whole game was pretty consistent as far as Justin Herbert being able to do whatever he wanted. That defense put up little to zero resistance, and it was just too hard, too Pat Mahomes reliant as far as the offense. You have to be able to run the ball. You need somebody that you can give 20 carries, or a running back group that you can, between them all collectively, can run the ball 25 times. But 40 pass attempts is not a balanced attack. Especially when, like I said, when these receivers are not really winning their matchups. Andy Reid is back there really scheming them open. So, who they got? It's a rematch against the Eagles next week. I mean, I know, look, you hand Pat Mahomes a loss, although this is 2 in a row. If you think about the Super Bowl and then week 1, that's 2 in a row for Pat Mahomes. But so I'm expecting him to be particularly motivated. Is he gonna lose 3 in a row? Dating back to last season, is that gonna be? I mean, that's gonna be 2 out of 3. If they lose to the Eagles next week, and the Eagles be in 2 of their last 3 games, I don't know. I mean, I know Pat Mahomes is going home thinking this is a must-win next week. But the Eagles, after a messy first half, really seemed a little buttoned up. I mean, Jalen Hurts in particular, based off what I saw on this defense, look, the Eagles got a running attack. So Saquon's going to have a much better game on this Chiefs defense. And then Jalen was looking on point too. And so they're going to have a much more balanced attack. The Chargers were a little bit pass heavy too, but they were having success in that. Justin Herbert was looking comfortable. He was scrambling when need be. And he was like gashing them. He was more efficient and more potent than Pat Mahomes was. I mean, that's just how it worked out. The Chargers defense was putting up more resistance than the Chiefs defense was. So anyway, those are my thoughts, family. Tap in, tell me what you think. I'm not gonna be able to catch all these games, but if you got some games that y'all want me to speak on, I'm definitely gonna speak on this Bills and Ravens game that's coming up. I also want to see, I mean, I'm a Saints fan, so I'm gonna tune in and let y'all know how bad the Saints do, because this season is not gonna be looking good. And I'm wanting to catch this Packers game too. So let me know, y'all. Tap in, let's discuss. We just getting started in the season, family, so buckle up. Peace and love.